Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? It is 7:01. I am Dr. Monica Joyce Ross Williams Riley, otherwise known as Dr. Monica of Deep Rooted Health and Wellness Med Spa here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I hope you all are amazing tonight. I know that we don't go on YouTube often, but we are uh, trying a new thing. It's a new year, and we want to reach more people and have even larger reach of audience. So I am going to really use my YouTube channel this season and really try to get some more information out, as well as have a place where you all can go back to let people know the information that we have here at Deep Rooted Health and that I have to share with you. And it's a great reference place for you to kind of go back to and share this information. So we have a few people who are on tonight. If you are on and haven't told a friend, please call a friend, check a neighbor, family members, let them know to tune in. We're going to be here for an hour. I'm excited about our new series here at Deep Rooted Health on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, the second Tuesday of the month. We're going to be coming with a health topic that is of interest to you and important to the community, and going to be fun. We'll probably do some different formats so that we're able to interact with you real time and be able to get your questions in. As I said, I'm new to doing YouTube, so bear with me. If you are on my Facebook page, you can absolutely tune in with questions on Facebook. I'm going to actually be running my Facebook page and see if I can find any of those questions that you may have. You can list them actually on Facebook, and I will answer those questions. And I also will try to stream from another type of medium so that you all be able to ask questions on this, as well as probably Instagram. We'll do it at the same time on the next one. But I really wanted to get out this information to you and really educate you as you go into the new year. What is this lecture called? What is this webinar about? It's called the Nutritional Roller Coaster. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about because it really talks about food. And here at Deep Rooted Health, for me, food is your first medicine. And that is important to know, but it's a little tricky because in United States, our food labeling can a lot of times be misleading. And since it is misleading, it is a lot of times you're putting effort into things that may not be where your money needs to be used. So I thought that what better time before the new year begins to kind of educate you all on what you should be doing to have a better relationship with your pocketbook, your and your grocery cart, so that you're making good choices. Even when you think you're making good choices, be educated about those choices. So let's get started. I had all big plans to have some videos that I would be able to kind of stream in to this live. And as I'm learning, that's not as easy as I thought it would be. But the good news is when I post this on the YouTube channel, I'm going to definitely sew those in. So you will have all of those live information, but I'm going to try to give you that same information, even though the videos that we taped for you all last night will not be on here, but the information will be. So do not hesitate. All right. So let's get started. First things first, I'm going to actually make sure our our Instagrammers are on as well. And I'll put that here. So I will be on Instagram Live as well. So you can tune in either place. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing that we want to do is today is about like the myths that you have about what is the healthiest thing for you are going to be dispelled. So I want to first talk about organic. Organic is a big big trigger word for a lot of people, because I think one of the things that people have been most concerned about organic is, do I need to eat organic foods to be healthy? I can't afford organic foods, and I can't afford to shop at Whole Foods and the fancy supermarkets, so therefore I can't be healthy. And that's just not true, number one. But number two, I do want to be really clear about what organic means. So let's first talk about the definition of what organic is. So by the Department of Agriculture and Rural Affairs, organic food is the product of a farming system which avoids the use of man-made fertilizer, pesticides, growth regulators, and livestock feed additives, irradiation, and the use of genetically modified organisms or products produced from or by GMOs are generally prohibited when you're talking about organic legislation. And that's by the definition by the Department of Agriculture and Rural Affairs. So basically, what they're saying is that if it's organic, we can't add anything in it that's going to necessarily be a pesticide or something that is going to fertilize or help to stimulate the natural production of that food. So that's a good thing, because what we have to realize is that a lot of the fertilizers and the growth hormones and all those things that are put into our foods regularly, we ingest that. And there are studies that show that by ingesting that, we are absolutely taking in those same chemicals. And a perfect example, we see a lot of our young people maturing a lot quicker. We know that these pesticides are cancer producing, and so we do not want to stimulate ourselves by taking in chemicals. Nobody would, um, on purpose, go and grab some grass killer, or ingest grass killer, or even like smell big whiffs of pesticides if they knew that they were doing it. So when you're eating foods that have been grown with that or around that, you're ingesting that. And so we know that that actually causes health problems for a lot of people. And that being the case, causes disease. So organic is the stamp of approval that we use when we say that none of those things were involved in the growing or of that particular food. Now, here's where the clarification point comes in. I'm going to show you, for the lack of not being able to show you videos and PowerPoint tonight, I'm going to be showing you different modes of pictures. So bear with me for a little bit of show and tell. So this symbol right here is a symbol that most people are very familiar with, the USDA's organic certification. Now, that being said, that seal should not make you feel comfortable that you are having 100% organic foods. This seal should not make you comfortable feeling as though you have 100% organic foods, because that seal does not certify that. For those of you all who are on Instagram, I just went live on Instagram as well, so you are able to go on Instagram and see us there as well. We are talking tonight about the nutritional roller coaster and the myths, and we're talking about the word organic and what it means. So we've defined that by the U.S. Agricultural, that means that there's no pesticides, no GMOs, which stands for genetically modified organisms, are in that food. And those things are usually used to help that food to grow faster, to stay away from bugs, maybe even grow bigger. And when you're saying, I want organic, you're saying, I don't want those stimulants, those things that can possibly cause me cancer or stimulate my growth quicker, for our kids who are taking in foods that have genetically modified organisms or have growth factors and things in them. But as I was about to say, when you see that seal, it does not mean that that particular food is 100% organic. What it means is that by the U.S. Government standards, it has at least 95%. Now, there's another 5% that doesn't have to necessarily be organic. So That's interesting. And that's important because I think we trust the fact that when we see that stamp that this thing is 100% clean. Doesn't have to be. So always remember that it does not have to be 100% organic when you see that USDA stamp on it. Now the other thing about organic is that organic does not have anything to do with whether or not a food is healthy for you. You can have organic candy, junk food, snack food. It is not a stamp of good nutrients in that food. You see organic on chips, you see organic on candy. So you can see organic stamped on a lot of even snack foods that are made of bad products. It just means that how it was grown, there are no pesticides, genetically modified, or synthetic um, pieces, parts in the making of it. And that's important to know. I think we put a lot of weight into the word organic. And so fertilizers, growth hormones, they are unhealthy for us to be consuming on a regular basis. If you're thinking about your children and you're pregnant, you are taking in those chemicals. And we want to encourage people not to be taking in those chemicals on a regular basis. For those who are tuning in on Instagram, know that I had videos and some other PowerPoint for you all as well. Those are not working well with my YouTube which channel, which we're trying to get people on because we're growing the YouTube. All of these videos that we're going to be doing in our series this year coming up are going to be on posted on YouTube. So I'm going to upload the YouTube video and I'm going to embed those videos. So please come back to the YouTube channel, the Deep Rooted Health YouTube channel, so that you're able to really sign on and see even more of what we're going to do tonight. But we're going to get to everything, and I have found ways to absolutely show you that same information. All right, so we've talked about organic. The next buzzword is natural. All natural. We see that on our foods. When we see that, we kind of feel like we're doing a good job. We kind of feel like we're getting a healthy alternative, picking a healthy alternative. Well, the truth of the matter is, natural is not a word that we should feel that much comfort in. It's more of a marketing word. I'm going to show you some examples of what natural looks like. I'm going to bring you over here, and things may be backwards or hopefully they're big enough, but I'm going to blow this up. Perfect example of a natural label on something that we would absolutely not consider to be a healthy food. And I'm going to put this in a way that both screens can see it. So here's some Cheetos. So I don't care what Cheetos says. I don't care how natural Cheetos says that they're making it. This is not a word that we should be looking for to determine that we want to purchase that product over another junk food product, because natural means that there's nothing artificial or synthetic in it. And that includes colors and additives, regardless of the source. So this has been included, but it doesn't have any regulation by anyone. It is just a promotion. It is just a marketing technique. The same as colors are marketing techniques. For example, a regular bag of Cheetos usually has a lot of orange in it. When something says natural, more than likely you're going to see browns, neutral colors, earth tones. That's really trying to kind of get your heart to think that you're in your mind to think that it's something that's going to be healthy for you. But don't fall for the okey doke. Natural does not mean that this is a food that is good for you. It does mean possibly that there's no artificial or synthetic ingredients, but it is not a regulated um, term. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that. So be very careful. Let me see if I can show you another example of things that we take in on a regular basis that this is that 100% natural symbol, which kind of makes you see it's green. It kind of makes you feel like it's okay. But I want you to be very careful. You need to start turning that label over, reading that label to find out really what is in it. All right. let's see, some other products that I wanted to show you that have natural in it. Peanut butter, that's a great one. Peanut butter can have a lot of additives in it. And so they put natural on it to show that there's no artificial or synthetic products in it, but it doesn't mean that it's organic. It doesn't mean kind of what is natural and doesn't mean what the source of that natural ingredient is. So be very careful when you see natural. There are, and here's an example of some products that we are very common. Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and these are not to say that these are the only brands, but just some things that are very common products that we all use that will have that natural seal on them, but we think they're good for us, but they're not really saying that they're good for us. If you look at the other ingredients that are there, you don't need all that junk. So be careful of the marketing techniques. Now, let's talk about some myths and truths about the two things that we've talked about so far. Once again, organic. A lot of people will say if it's organic, it's healthier than a conventional choice. Truth of the matter is, when we say something is organic, it does not mean that it is nutritionally superior to something that doesn't have the seal organic on it. Let me say that again. If we see a natural, or excuse me, organic on a product, the actual stamp, please do not take that as a call that that food, it has more nutrients in it. Now, sometimes it may have more omega-3 fatty acids or may have more vitamins or minerals, sometimes, but this is why it's important to know your products and to read your labels, because this is only saying that it is organically grown, meaning no pesticides, no GMOs, no chemicals or fertilizers were used for that product. But it doesn't mean that it was good. That's organic. So that's a myth. So natural, same thing. Natural means for a lot of people that no artificial colors, no GMO, no pesticides. No, that's organic. What we're talking about for natural is it's not really a great term to differentiate whether something is really good for you or even 100% natural, because it's not a regulated term. So if you see natural on something, I definitely want you to turn it over. If you see organic on something, I definitely want you to turn it over and start reading the labels on the back, because so you can see actually what's in that product. All right. Hope that that was clear for you guys. It's something that people ask me all the time. So another term that has become very, very popular in the news, but also a term that has become kind of symbiotic with GMO. We talked about GMO dealing with the other two terms, organic and natural. GMO stands for genetically modified organism. What is that? Just as it sounds, it means that they were in the process of making an ingredient. It may have been modified in its growth. It may have, and previously we were using GMO as a kind of a catch-all term, but as things would be, new terms come around. So the newest term to come around is bioengineered. I'm sure you all have heard a bit about the bioengineering of our meat products, the bioengineering of other products that are common. But one of the things that I want to bring to your attention is that this is more common than we even realize. I have some examples of some things that are now labeled as bioengineered. And when you tune back into the video, the YouTube video, I'm in the supermarket showing you exactly some more samples of this. But I do have a couple of here for you. So some of our most common foods that we think are healthy may not have all of the health benefits that we think they have. That's number one. But I want to know personally when my food is not coming from the ground. The ground itself has nutrients in it. When things come from the earth, they have healing powers because of the minerals and the vitamins that are in the earth, which we will admit are not what they used to be, and our soil is not enriched the way it should used to be. But when you're taking in cereals that are supposedly, high in fiber, and you're trying to do the right thing, the last thing you want to do, at least for my clients, is you don't want to have bioengineered or genetically modified ingredients. So you wouldn't think a brand cereal would be one of those things, but I'm going to hold this close to the camera. And if you all can see, one of the newest packaging is contains bioengineered ingredients. I hope you can see that contains bioengineered ingredients. If you go to your cabinet right now, look and see on the boxes of your foods and the bottles in your refrigerator this label. So these are the gummy fruits that we get for the kids. It says assorted fruit flavors. You're feeling really good about it, you think, but there goes that word natural, and we'll talk about natural flavors in a little bit as well. But here you can see clearly right there, right here, ingredients derived from bioengineered source. Hope you guys can see that too over there. So there are many, many more. Even like I said, some of the choices that you'll get, and you look at the ingredients and you're like, wow, I am really doing well for myself. Look at all that healthy fiber and fruit and nuts in there. There it is again, bioengineered ingredients right there. So really important to read labels. I'll get to about how to read a label before we get off tonight. But I want you all to know that it is important for bioengineered products to be labeling that they are that. Because those of us who are concerned, and we all should be, about non-GMO and products, purchasing those because they were not genetically modified, now we've got to be looking for a new word, a new terminology, and bioengineered is that terminology. The news reports that we are also being exposed to this in nice restaurants. Nice restaurants are getting bioengineered meats and serving it. And, we don't necessarily always ask our restaurants, where are you getting, where's your meats? Where do your chickens, your produce come from? Where is it coming from? And so what I know is that when things become kind of mass marketed, it's usually because they're less expensive to do, not because they're healthier to do. And I don't want my fish, my wheat grown in a petri dish. I want it to come from the ground. You should want that as well, because that's where you're going to find the highest nutrients from. That's where you're also going to make sure that the genetics that are used are natural genetics that come from what they're supposed to. So I want you all to be reading and understanding what is really what these words and terminologies mean. So that is bioengineered, the new buzzword, and very important. And I want you to go through your refrigerator and go through your cabinet and your pantry and just look and see. You'd be very, very surprised at some very major brands. And I did find when we were going through the supermarket that it is sometimes brand specific. So your brand may be one of those brands that has transitioned into this, and maybe you have a brand that hasn't. Um, there are definitely some brands that I chose when my kids were younger, that definitely stay away from a lot of the traps that we'll be talking about tonight. So one of the ones that I like is Kashi. They are a great cereal brand, and they do a lot of different types and flavors. So also, if you're trying to stay away from corn or you're trying to stay away from wheat, they have those options for you, and their ingredients are very clear, and you'll see that there are no bioengineering products that go into their brands. So important to know what brands are supporting bioengineering and what brands are not supporting it. And yes, it is worth changing up from what you've always used or what your mama and your daddy always used, because what they used is different now. It's made differently and it has different ingredients. So just wanted to point that out for you. Let's go to the next part about bioengineering I want you to see. So when you look up bioengineering, and this is from the United States Department of Agriculture. You all can pull this up on your own computers. Try to see if I can get this a little closer. So here talks about what bioengineering and what bioengineered food is. And what you can see here, it says it right very clearly: food that contains genetic material that has been modified through certain laboratory techniques. And this modification can obtain through conventional, that can't be obtained, cannot be obtained through conventional breeding or found in nature. That's a problem. That's a problem. So if I'm eating a food that's supposedly healthy for me, but what's in it could not be obtained from nature, that is not what your body knows how to use. It's not what your body knows how to break down. And it can trigger things in your body that cause us to go into different autoimmune disorders. People are walking around now with more cases of thyroid disorder than ever before. Cancer obviously can be triggered. Our cells, which can be regulated and be dysregulated, this is caused by having introduction to or being exposed to chemicals. Sometimes, listen, when you're driving in a car and there's exhaust coming out of somebody's back pipe, you can't do a lot about that because you're driving in a car, but you absolutely can do something about toxins and things that are coming through your foods, and especially when you're not in charge of making that food. Something else that I thought was very interesting. Let's see if I move it back a little bit. Can you see it better? Oh, going the wrong way. Sorry, guys. There we go. So here's the labeling that you'll see on bioengineered foods. Still don't have it right. There we go. The labeling that you'll see. Um, so these are going to be some new labels that people have to get used to. This lets you know that if a food is bioengineered. Please read the labels. Please, if you see a QR code, use your phone, take a look, make a phone call. A lot of times, phone calls are important to when you call a company about their foods, they will let you know more than what they'll put on their label. If you ask a question, by law, they have to answer it. So that's important. Natural flavorings is another one. It's a great place where you can actually call and find out what is the natural flavors. When you see natural flavoring on something, know that natural flavoring can be a lot of different things. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. So also, when it says derived from, this is another term that we use that they use in bioengineering to kind of give you a hint that the source is not from nature; it's derived from. It says here that in this case, the company has chosen to disclose that they are using highly refined ingredients that do not contain detectable modified genetic materials. in the finished product. So it's not detectable, but doesn't mean it's not there. Okay. All right. So this is a really good website. I encourage you guys to go in and look at that. One of the things that it here discloses is that basically that GMO and bioengineered are basically the same thing. So for years we had been aware that GMO, genetically modified ingredients, were something to be concerned about, but now they've changed the terminology. So please, please, please be on the lookout for this, and go look through your pantry and see what's there. All right. I hope this is interesting for you guys. I hope this is answering some of the things that you all have been concerned about, or maybe it's bringing up some things that you didn't even know that you needed to be concerned about. I want to talk about superfoods. We're gonna well, let me before I do that, I mentioned something about natural flavoring, and I want to really dig in a little bit deeper into natural flavorings because when you see that, that's another terminology that makes people really comfortable where they shouldn't necessarily be really comfortable. Uh, there is a and I was going to give you all a picture of it. So, natural flavorings are basically when you get a flavor that's an additive to a product, and you see natural flavorings everywhere. But when you see this, it doesn't tell you where the actual natural flavor comes from. That is a problem because as long as is it from a organism, a living organism of any type, animal, plant, it can have the label of natural flavors. Now the problem with that is there's a lot of things that are from human or from animal or from plant that you don't necessarily always want in your body. So, perfect example. There's a beaver, and for those of you who have been with me for a while, you probably heard this. There's a beaver that has a gland that excretes a musk from this gland. That gland musk is actually used as a natural flavor. It is used as a natural flavor for things like strawberry ice creams, candy, but it's from the gland of a beaver. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd like to know when that's the case. So understand that when you see the word natural flavors, this absolutely should not comfort you. So you'll see natural flavors even in things that maybe are natural foods, organic foods, health foods. So here's the key. When you see natural flavors, you have to look it up. You have to call the company, because if you call the company, there'll be a 1-800 number on the back of the box or the label. If you call them, they will actually tell you where their natural flavors come from. And it may be okay, but you have to know. You should want to know where their natural flavors are coming from. So make sure that you're aware that when you see that you need to make a phone call. You need to find out some more. Okay? All right. So now moving on to some good things, foods that keywords that people throw around, and you may not know necessarily what it means. So, food is your medicine. Food should absolutely be looked at for the benefits that it has, as much as the negative things that we can get lost in or get tricked by. So superfoods is a word that a lot of people are a little bit confused about, like, what is a superfood? So superfoods are foods that you take in that are very densely rich in a nutrient. So by eating that food, you are replenishing vitamins or minerals that you might not otherwise get in such a condensed form. So I love superfoods because there are now people are much more familiar with using these superfoods in everyday foods, as well as sometimes in supplements, sometimes in teas, or even like putting them in their daily lives every day. So, an example of what a superfood would be something like blueberries. Could be a superfood because they're very dense and rich in antioxidants, which are things that help prevent cancer, or help prevent our cells from being damaged from the environment, toxins, and pollutants. Um, what's another one? Beets are another superfood that a lot of people are now seeing. You can find beet powder. Beets are very great for people who have high blood pressure to help keep your veins open and keep your blood flow going a lot easier. Ginger is another one. It's one of my favorites. Ginger, fresh ginger, you can buy it now in bulk. I will say be very careful because there are some interesting things out about ginger and how it's been preserved. So that if you notice, ginger doesn't sprout anymore. It's a root and it doesn't sprout anymore. So there's definitely some concern about ginger and how what's put on it to make sure that it kind of stays in that dormant stage. So make sure you wash your fruits and your vegetables very, very thoroughly so that you make sure that you're able to get all of the as much as possible of the outer coating off of your foods as possible that may have been coming from transport or that may be on your foods. Um, Garlic is another great superfood that has a lot of antioxidant effects, great for blood pressure, great for cancer. It's really good for cleansing the blood. So garlic is another one. So there's lots of different ones. One of the ones I like to talk to people about is cacao, which is pure cocoa. Um, uh, when you're getting chocolate bars at the supermarket and you're only reaching for the milk chocolate, you guys should try the dark chocolate sometimes. And the higher percentage of dark chocolate that is in the bar, the cacaos that are 70 and above, have definitely shown to have a lot of antioxidant properties in it, and it's a superfood. So not all of these things are just the fruits and vegetables. You can find superfoods in things that some people would consider dessert like, and build that into your daily regimen as well. Avocados, lentils, apples even can be considered a superfood. There are some great things that have all the nutrients that you need. It's sometimes called almost like the perfect food in in itself, encased in itself. So grabbing them, just eating them by themselves, a handful of blueberries, raspberries, can also boost your immune system and do a lot of things. And if you're doing it on a regular basis, every day with every meal, this only does more and more to help your own natural immune system become stronger and become healthier. This is not a Tonight is not a conversation about how do we make healthy immune systems, but that's one of our conversations that we'll be definitely having down the line. But all the things that we're talking about here, superfoods, the label of a superfood, having the label of a superfood is a positive thing because it means that this is one of your foods that's going to bring you a dense amount of nutrients. Um, we talked about how our foods are not always full of the nutrients that we would want them to have. So a lot of times supplements are really important to that. One of the things that I have found is that um, our ground, the dirt that we grow our foods in, commercially especially, is very nutrient lacking. And it's, you have calories, but the nutrients which we use to actually fuel our bodies and prevent disease and fight off cancer and things like that are lacking in the soil. So the soil, through the roots, is how our foods actually get the nutrients into them. So since our soil is not well taken care of, and that's why crop rotation and resting the certain land for a certain period of time and all those things that are not done because we're producing food so quickly now, supplements are very important. So, what is a supplement? Supplement and nutraceuticals are two words that we talk about that are things that we can take by mouth, usually in the form of a liquid or a capsule or a tablet, and they will supplement our regular diet. So, our regular diet may be fruits and vegetables, and we think we're doing an excellent job. And yes, you're doing a great job compared to maybe someone who's on a regular American diet, sometimes known as the SAD diet, Standard American Diet. That's what SAD stands for, Standard American Diet. So you think you're eating these fruits and vegetables and you're doing great. Well, that can be the case, except we don't know what the quality of the dirt that those foods were in. And that's where supplements come in. So supplements can be anything from vitamins, things like turmeric or curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric. Vitamin B complex are often used for metabolism and energy. All of these things can be gotten in a pill form. Um, Glucosamine chondroitin if you have joint pains, things that help to revitalize or help stimulate the cartilage, which is where arthritis is, the breakdown of the joints. These are all supplements that you can buy that will help to encourage your own body to work better. I often tell my clients who come with me on a journey for one of our programs that the vitamin is the actual coenzyme. Not to get too science on you, but you got food, you got carbohydrates, proteins, and you got fats, and they have to be broken down to get the energy out of them. So otherwise, it just kind of all turns to fat, and then you ate, but you don't feel like you feel any more energetic. Well, that's because if you don't get the right nutrients or vitamins into your body at the same time that you're getting that food in, that coenzyme, which is the vitamin A, B, C, D, K, those are what's used to break the bonds, the chemical bonds in your food, and release our energy, release the active part of that food. So that's why vitamins are so important. That's why eating vegetables, which is where vitamins are found, is so important, because when you do that, you're releasing the energy, you're releasing the health in the food that you are taking in. So important to eat vegetables, fruits every meal, because how else are you going to get the vitamins into your body to help break down or release the energy in your food? Now, if you can't, or you're not exposed to, or maybe you're in a desert, a food desert, and you're not getting quality produce, we all aren't necessarily getting quality produce because of the soil, then a supplement would be something that I would encourage you to take. RDA, recommended daily allowance. We see on the back of food products that say we're getting this much or minimum amount of a food. And I'll show you, I'm going to pull up an ingredient list so we can talk about how to read that. But RDA will be on there about how much is the recommended daily allowance of a vitamin. That's the minimum that you should be getting. That's not when I get that, I'm good. That's the minimum that you should be getting. The supplement itself is what we take to try to make up for the fact that we are not getting all that we can out of our food itself. I recommend that, and I recommend for all my clients, that you get a vitamin that is based in from a vegetable, staying away from the major brand vitamins that are only based in a chemical makeup of that vitamin. So understand the body can recognize broccoli and cabbage and carrots and beets. You may not like all those vegetables, which I encourage you to keep trying, but look on the back of the bottle and find a vegetable-based vitamin, whether it be liquid, gummy, tablet, capsule, because your body is going to use, and it's going to be what we call bioavailable. It's going to be more able to recognize and take the actual vitamin and take it to where it needs to be and use, instead of you urinating it out and not feeling. It's like, I take my vitamins but I don't feel anything. Normally what I find is that when you take a vegetable based vitamin, you actually feel, it's not like a caffeine rush, but you actually feel more energetic. Why? because it's actually working. It's doing what it's supposed to. So, vegetable-based vitamins, there's a few on the market that I recommend, and if you come to be a patient with me, I absolutely will recommend one that works for deficiencies that you may have. A little short story is I started on vegetarian vitamins when I was in med school or college, med school, because I don't do coffee. And so for everybody who's been in grad school knows that there are a lot of sleepless nights. Med school is no different, a whole lot of sleepless nights, staying up late. And so most time people survive on caffeine. I survived on orange juice and vegetarian vitamins that my dad sent me a bottle of, and I never turned back because they were the thing that gave me the energy to keep on going. And I still to this day use them. Because they are definitely a game changer for me. And I definitely recommend that for my clients when I do programs for them. The deep dive and the rooted recharge program are some of the programs that we do here to tell people what their deficiencies are, their vitamin deficiencies are, and then teach them how to get the foods that they need to get those vitamins into their diet on a daily basis. But oftentimes you also need a supplement of a good quality vegetarian or vegetable-based vitamin to help you get those in. So supplements are good. I tell people, supplements come in all shapes and sizes, price ranges. Don't pick the cheapest one that you can find, and don't pick you don't have to pick the most expensive. Somewhere in the middle, something you can get consistently, and that doesn't have a lot of byproducts, and in their inactive ingredients have a lot of junk. And you can always kind of have a consultation with me or get on one of our programs so you can kind of learn what that actually means. All right, let's see here. A lot of information. This is really just touching, scratching the surface of all the things that we do here at Deep Rooted Health and Wellness Med Spa. We are absolutely committed to teaching, educating you all on what is needed for the body and how to read these labels and how to see what's actually in your food. Now, I do want to get to how we doing on time. I do want to get to eggs. Eggs are a huge subject because eggs became so expensive. For those of you who are not vegetarian or vegan, rather, eggs became so expensive, and so people were, shying away from eggs, complaining about eggs. But there's some education around eggs that I really wanted to get to, because now there's so many options when it comes to eggs, and I'll just show you a picture of all the different options of egg products that are out there. And Instagram, can you see that? So you've got farm, pasture raised, free range, natural, organic. And so I want to go over, if I can, with you guys. And you can see all the things that you see in your supermarket, all the different kinds of different egg, regardless of the brand that's out there. So with all that to choose from and all your hard-earned money, because eggs are not cheap anymore, what exactly what should you know about these different things with eggs? And I think you'll be somewhat surprised, a lot of like what we were talking about earlier with the labels of organic and natural. The important part that you need to know is that the box being green, the box being brown does not determine whether or not this is good for you or not. The wording on the box, you need to understand what it is, because that's really where the educational information is. So grass-fed is one of the major labels that you'll see. Cage fed is another one that you'll see. Free range is another one that you'll see. Natural is another one that you'll see, and organic. So let's get into it. So cage free, let's talk about cage free first. So cage free eggs. Cage free eggs makes you think that this is a chicken that is out enjoying the nature and is happy and healthy, and their eggs therefore should be as well. Know that the old saying that you are what you eat is absolutely true with all the things that we're talking about tonight, especially when we're talking about um, uh, mammals and things that we eat, fish. Um, what they eat, what they're exposed to is what we're exposed to. Okay. What we're exposed to when we eat them. So whatever they went through, we go through it because we are taking in what we're taking in them, whether it be their eggs or their flesh. So in a cage-free, the definition of a cage-free egg is a bird that is able to roam free, but they're roaming in a building um, or an enclosed area, and they have unlimited access to food. So they're not starving them, which is a good thing. So it's not feeding time. They're actually eating all the time, which is a good thing. And they have fresh water during their productivity time. Now, what it does not mean is that a caged free bird that's giving cage free eggs has nothing to do with it being organic. Now, remember what we said the definition of organic is. Organic means that if it's organic, it is not exposed to fertilizer. So that roaming that they're doing could be fertilized grass, or the grains that are out there can be fertilized. It doesn't mean that there's no pesticides being sprayed on that grass. It doesn't mean that it's organic. Okay. So all the things that organic or that is GMO, that is not genetically modified grass. So know that cage free only means that they have the freedom to walk outside. That's it. We don't know what they're walking outside to. Okay. So that's important. They have unlimited food. So they can be fat and happy as long as they want to. And they have water, cage free. Free range is another word that you'll see on your eggs. So free range, kind of similar to caged. Free range is when the birds are provided shelter in a building or a room or an area, and they have unlimited food and fresh water, and they have continuous access to the outdoors. Continuous access to the outdoors. So cage free doesn't mean they're going outside. They just are able to roam in a building or an area open. Free range is that they're able to go outside. So, once again, if they're able to go outside and there's no fences, they can go into the grasses and things like that. We don't know what the grasses are made of. We don't know what they're being fed because this is not guaranteeing what they are being what the who's taking care of their food source, who's taking care of the grass and things that they're able to have free range to go out into. So free range doesn't tell you what kind of food that this actual animal is. So free range doesn't necessarily mean they're even eating grass. It just means they have free range to go outside. Whatever the outside exposure is what the free range is being exposed to. And that's company dependent. So you do your research on your company to find out what their free range is and the quality of what they're giving, and ask the questions. Is it organic feed? Where's your feed coming from? Is it grass? Are they getting access to worms and things like that that they would naturally be out there eating? Because that's what chickens do. They eat things in the ground. So understand that. Now, grass-fed. Grass-fed is another thing that you'll see on a lot of like poultry or meat products, even beef products. So grass-fed is important because the majority of their nutrients comes from the grass. Important when you're talking about not only eggs, but you're talking about beef. Grass-fed can be actually really powerful because if that grass is high in nutrients, because they've done organic soil and they've made sure that they've used natural fertilizers that allows a lot of nutrients to come up, then that grass has all those nutrients, even omega-3 fatty acids. So you can have beef that has high in omega-3 fatty acids because the grass that it was exposed to. The chickens, the grass that is exposed to is high in omega-3 fatty acids or other nutrients. So grass-fed can be a really great thing. Once again, making sure you know the company and know that the grass that they're using is quality grass. And that way you're actually taking in a better and more quality product. Okay. All right. That's a lot of what we have for you guys today. I definitely want to get your questions. Please drop your questions if you're on Instagram and you have questions about anything we talked about, or you have questions about other things that we didn't get a chance to talk about tonight. Please feel free to drop them in to the link as when we do the live and produce the YouTube video. You'll be able to drop questions below that. I'll be checking back in and addressing all of your questions so that make sure that I'm able to answer those. I do want to let you all know that the information that I have, this is what I talk about on a daily basis with my clients. If any of my clients are signed on tonight, how are you? You know how we do it. I want to let you all know that I have an offer for you all to join the Deep Rooted Health family for always. But in the month of December through to December 31st, we are having a special on our our functional medicine, really our first visit. So what it is, it's an initial functional medicine evaluation, and that will give you privilege to one of our specialty tests. It also privileges you to a comprehensive history taking by myself. We have an hour-long visit with each other where we're going over that history, and then we'll able to determine what specialized testing that we would be best for you, where you can find out what these your nutritional deficits may be, where your vitamin deficiencies may be, and then we'll do that testing, that blood work for you, and we're having a special of $100 off, $100 off that special. So if you call the office and or you go on our website and make a 15-minute consultation, you can also take advantage of this. If you go on the website and book the initial functional medicine evaluation, you will automatically be given that $100 off of the initial functional medicine evaluation. Also, if you go on our app, we have an app now. We launched that in September. If you go on our app and you look up initial functional medicine evaluation, you will see it as well, and you will be able to get the $100 off that initial evaluation, initial functional medicine evaluation. And then we can actually really find out what's going on with you. People love this because you end up with a actual formal report going over your intracellular micronutrient deficiencies, or your immune deficiencies, or immune problems that may be stimulating you to be having problems with things like diabetes or hypertension or allergies, even leading to things like sleep disturbances. Also, we look at deficiencies in hormone balancing. We are able to tell you so much more than your routine blood work would tell you. So I invite you all to come and visit me here at Deep Rooted Health and Wellness Med Spa. Come get a functional medicine evaluation with $100 off to the end of the month. It's a great Christmas gift that you can give to a loved one. Health is the best gift that we can give each other. So I invite you all to do that. My phone number here at the office is 770-847-8104. That's 770-847-8104. The ladies here at the office will be happy to take your call, answer any questions that you might have to get you better and closer to your best health. And the website is www.deeprootedhealth.org. And you can come on that website and book appointments, learn more about what we do here at Deep Rooted Health and Wellness. Please feel free to join us on our Instagram. Please feel free to join us on our Facebook. We have a transformative Facebook group called Transformative Deep Rooted Health. And just follow us. And so you can learn more about us and learn more information about us, and tell a friend, because the best way that you can pass on this good news is to tell a friend. Now, I'll be back every Tuesday, the second Tuesday in each month. You're going to be seeing our advertisement. This is going to be our new series that's called Talk Ed Tuesdays, where every minute counts. because every minute counts in your health, and every minute counts of this 60 minutes to give you all the information. Next time, I promise you guys, I will have it up so that you all will be able to talk or ask questions real time with me. And or on when I drop the live into the YouTube, you'll be able to drop them there. Please, please, please. I love answering your questions and I love interacting with you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Tell a friend. These will all be linked and these will all be posted. So have a great night. Happy holidays. Happy New Year till we see each other again. Second Tuesday in January. I look forward to it. But I look forward to seeing you in the office even sooner. Bye, you guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. This is Dr. Monica of Deep Rooted Health and Wellness Med Spa.